Today we're starting a new psalm, and I don't know how long we'll be in this psalm. This is 7 verses. We're in Psalm 14. And so all we'll do today really is kind of read it and get the sense of it and get started. As you're finding Psalm 14, I want to invite you to enroll in groups at Emmanuel. We start not this Wednesday, but a week from this Wednesday, actually Sunday. This Sunday and then the following Wednesday, we start our 4th session of groups at Emmanuel. Groups is the way to connect. And even if you're coming from abroad, somewhere not near Newington, you can join an e-group, and they will be going on through the week as well. And we encourage you to be a part. We would love for you to be a part. So go to ebcnewington.com/groups, okay? And then I do want to invite you, if you're local, to come visit Emmanuel, and especially this Sunday, come to our church picnic. We are going to be grilling hamburgers and hot dogs for everybody. You don't need to prepare a lunch. Just come and be a part and enjoy the time with our church family. All right, Psalm 14. This is to the chief musician. It's a psalm of David. David's going to describe atheism, how foolish it is to say that there is no God. So here it is, verse 1. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon the Lord? There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion, when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people. Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Oh, there's a lot here. I look forward to the coming days. In big picture, David feels like he's living in a day where there is no righteousness, no goodness, nobody choosing God, doing what is right. There's multiple senses of this verse, but from an experiential sense, that's what I want to talk to. For an experiential sense, David is in this moment feeling like it's all lost, and indicting the corruption, indicting the sin, and the godlessness, and the foolishness that's wrapped up in the godless world. I don't know about you, but I can identify. I look around. I said to our church family yesterday, it's a crazy world. We live in a strange, crazy, miserable time. People are not happy. People are anxious. They're spread thin. They are angry. They're pent up with a lot of anger and anxiety. Just on our flight home on Friday night, there was an ongoing feud between the people across the aisle from each other, 2 seats in front of us. The flight attendants had to intervene multiple times. Even as we landed, they're yelling at each other. They're taking pictures of each other. They're videoing each other. It was total foolishness. And I'm thinking, the world without God is just spiraling into deeper and deeper confusion and chaos and oppression. And truly, as he says here, eating up people who love God, eating up God's people, devouring the workers of iniquity. We'll break all this down. But David's long view and long hope is what sustained him. It's what will sustain you today and me today. And that is that God's got a salvation, not only for our souls and our security right now. He's got a long-term, big picture salvation. The phrase he uses here, which we'll unpack later, is when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people. Okay? In this psalm, now we think of captivity as a bad thing. In this psalm, it's a positive thing. We'll get to that later. But the salvation of God out there in the future, Jesus is coming back, and he's coming as a righteous judge. And if you know him, you can rest in that fact. You can have peace in your soul, His peace today. You can lean into this day, into the darkness as light and as salt. And you can be a blessing to others, and you can sacrifice and serve. You can give your life in service of others. And you can help others see and hear and understand the gospel of Jesus Christ in a way that gives them hope, that they might turn to Jesus as well. This is why you are here, and this is why I am here. I close with a quick anecdote or a quick story. Yesterday, I was standing in the lobby of the 10:30 service. As I was preaching, I noticed a woman on about the second or third row, and she was just wholly engaged. I'd never met her, didn't know her, and I didn't know where she was from, but she was just nodding and just totally participating. And as I was standing in the lobby afterwards, this lady came out beaming. I mean, she was absolutely glowing, and she was holding a copy of the Dunn book, and she was holding it open to the page that invites the reader to pray and trust Jesus as Savior. And she handed that to me and smiling, and she showed it to me, and I took it, and it had the date and handwriting, and it said, saved on this date. And she began to weep. And I looked at her, and she said, I was lost in Catholicism and in traditions and in ceremonialism and in all the rituals and all the idolatry of Catholicism. And she was crying as she was saying this. And she said, I read this book and I understood the gospel for the first time, and I trusted Jesus Christ as my Savior, and I'm here to say thank you. Her daughter as well from Massachusetts was with her, beaming and glowing, radiating her new salvation as well. And I took a picture with these two ladies, and I was so thankful to hear about the work that God was doing in her life because of the Dunn book. But she was in darkness until she understood the gospel. And I thought, as I was talking to this lady, how many more people are all around us, not only in New England, especially in New England, but wherever you are. How many people are around us and they are receptive to the true gospel, but no one's ever shared it with them. No one's ever given it to them. And my friend, that's your assignment and my assignment. And so let's be faithful. Let's be witnesses this week. Let's not despair to the conditions or in the conditions of our world. Let's trust that God is directing our steps and taking us where He wants us to be salt and light. And look around, the fool has said in his heart, there's no God. But God is still God, and you can still introduce someone to Him this week. Hey, I'm praying for you. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.